Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are reacting to episode 17 of series 1 of Apothecary Diaries. And last episode got me way more emotional than I anticipated. I think it's just the parent dynamic, just the father wanting his sons to get along, and them being able to find a resolution where they can work together and be a family and understand that their father loved and admired them all for different things, that they didn't need to be envious and jealous of each other because their father loved them all. It just, I don't know, it just hit me in the heart. And yeah, I didn't expect it to get me so worked up. I felt really silly crying over it, but we also maybe had a little bit of an indication into Laken's family dynamic, with him talking about how the younger son should not feel like he needs to be outshined by the older, which makes me kind of suspect that Laken maybe stepped over an older brother to achieve the position that he's in, that he maybe benefited and inherited the family title and wealth more so than his older brother, if he had an older brother, because he was unwilling to just fall into this role of, well, that's the older brother, so they naturally inherit. Which then makes me think, could Mau Mau's dad be Laken's brother? We also are no further into understanding Laken's behavior or dynamic, because the show is really only giving us the little breadcrumbs. So hopefully we do find out a bit more, because Laken was like, oh, I'll tell you if Mau Mau goes and does this. She goes and does it. And then Laken's like to Jinshi, no, you have to go and ask someone who would know that world better than me. Like, what the fuck, man? But we're not going to talk for much longer because I don't want to repeat what I said in the last episode too much. But without further ado, we're going to get into episode 17. Oh yeah, and Jinshi wanted makeup on him. So we think Jinshi might be going undercover, gallivanting somewhere.
必要ないだろうに。歴史にはくだらない戦がたくさんあるが、その中のいくつかは渓谷の美女によって引き起こされている。天井人のごとき美しさの御人が化粧なんて
He'd start a war.
国でも滅ぼす気ですか。
なぜそうなる
Cause you're so beautiful, Jinshi, that's why.
顔を変えられる薬があれば便利なのだが。
漆でも顔につければ十分ですが、一生元には戻りません。
だろうな。
平民を装いたいということでしたら。
He doesn't want to draw attention to himself.
俺を今と全く違う姿の人間にしてくれ。
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Is he gonna go to the brothel? Is he not gonna ask Mau Mau? Is he gonna maybe go to the brothel and ask the madam about how to devalue a concubine?
おはようございます。
He's so effortless.
朝から不機嫌だな。
いえ、人士様は今日も一日美しいのでしょう。
His little face.
なんだいきなり。
こんな上等な光沢庶民はいません。海の向こうから取り寄せた最高級の香木とは縁がないはずです。
But I smell nice.
薬草と毒草を見分けるため鼻が利くようになっただけです。議論の乗客の見分け方を知っていますか？
知らん。体型とか服とかか？
Scent.
それもありますが、もう一つ、匂いです。悪趣味な香をいくつも漂わせている客は、金はあるが性病の可能性が高い。
Ugh.
六商館に来る一元の客はほとんど追い返されます。
そういうことは、その世界を知る
者に聞いた
方が早い。
それは油と塩です。これで髪の光沢をなくして質感を悪くしていきます。
Oh no, his lovely hair.
そろそろいいかな。
あら、何もそんな切れ端で言わなくても。
平民はまとめられれば何でもいいんです。
He's gotta look
こ
poor.
れで本当によろしいのですか？
くんくんくん。もっと臭くてもいいくらい
It
です
could
ね。
be smellier. Oh, damn, boy.
天女のようなお方ではあるが、筋性の取れた筋肉質な作りだ。
Oh,
あちら
his
の
little
手拭いを
face.
使っても
構わないけど、何をするの？
She's gonna give him some
体型を変えていきます。
curves, right? Pad him out.
お二人も手伝っていただけますか？
Oh my, it's hot in here.
不格好な体型に人士様の顔がついているのはなんとも奇妙だな。これで平民のような日焼けした肌を作っていきます。
Because only those of nobility had unblemished skin. Hence why it's the beauty standard in Imperial China. Hence the powder makeup that they were using in the first episode to make their complexion smooth and pale.
あったー、めいめい姉ちゃんに押し付けられたや
She's
つ。
so mischievous.
まだか？
口も閉じてもらえますか？力は入れずに。
どうかしたのか？
この3人だけでよかった。もし誰か別の者がいたら大惨事だった。
おい、どうしたんだ？
Bewitching everyone.
なんでもありません。
痛いぞ、何があったんだ？
何もありません。
何もないですよ。
はい、何もありませんわ。
Destroying nations.
立派な男の手だ。さすがに白魚の手とは。タコがある。普段筆か箸くらいしか持たないと
I
思っ
mean,
て
he
いた。
practices with a sword.
剣術か棒術をやっているのだろう。
Yeah.
本来
They're
看板には
so
必要ないはず
fucking
だ。
cute. Not something a eunuch does because he's not a eunuch. He's a prince. Oh, they're so fucking adorable. I love Jinshi and Mao Mao.
唇と喉が腫れて声が変わりますから。
何が入っているの？
数種の刺激物です。とても辛いですが、毒ではありませんのでご安心を。全部飲んでください。最後の仕上げです。綿です。輪郭を変えるために頬に含ませてくださ
Oh,
い。
puff out his cheeks.
それでも2枚目半くらいに
That's what
見
I
える
was
のだ
about to say. I was like, he's still quite good looking.
ともかく自分にできることはすべて
I
や
mean,
った。
Mao Mao, you're also very beautiful. Naturally, too. So.
シャオマオ、今日は実家に帰ると言っていましたね。
はい、明日まで暇をもらったので。高春様にしては珍しい表情だ。
Is Jinshi going
そ
with
れなら
her?
ジンシ様も途中まで同じ道筋ですよね。
Okay.
別人に変装したところでいつもと同じ従者を連れていてはおかしく思われるでしょ
お前が来れば助かるんだが。
His voice sounds the same. It didn't change his voice.
私がジンシ様についても代わり映えしないかと。私も部屋好きの下女として知られていますし。
なら、シャ
It's like,
オマオ
no,
も
please
変装すれば
don't.
いいんじゃない？
う。それはいいですね。
お化粧用のハケやかんざし。
Is this her getting revenge on Mao Mao for what she did to
なん
Jinshi?
と似ても似つかない姿になればいいのよね。ねえ。
Oh, she's been waiting for this
嫌
moment.
な予感しかしない。確かに睡蓮様の娘のもので。
She looks
生地の
really
デザインも仕立
pretty.
てもよく古臭くもない。格好だけならいいところのお嬢様と言ってもおかし
Are
くな
they
いだろ
gonna
う。
pose as like a couple?
こちらが地図です。シャオマオには
お嬢様のことは私にお任せください。
よろしくお願いし
This
ま
is
す。
so cute. Everyone's gonna
Yeah, I
think
think
they're
so.
like romantically involved. Wait, I just realized because he wanted makeup put on him. I thought he was gonna get dressed up like a woman. And he wants to look like a man still, but different. That's why his voice didn't change too much. I thought his voice would like go up an octave and that like he would look more feminine because obviously he's like very feminine features, but I guess his whole idea of wanting to look different is that he wants to look the opposite of feminine and naturally beautiful. He wants to look more, in his mind, I guess, more masculine, less effeminate. I thought maybe his servant was going to try and get revenge on her by being like, oh, well, look what you did to Jinshi, so I'm gonna make you look just as bad. But Jinshi still looks really handsome though, so she did a good job. But like he still looks really good. But everyone's gonna think they're a couple, which is really cute. I think he's going to investigate in some brothels to try and find out what Lakin was hinting at.
はい、お嬢様。
My lady!
姿勢が良すぎる。
Oh, that's so cute.
人種という名もそうだが、男の名にはあまり使わない。やっぱり女装にした方が良かったかな。
I thought he was going to dress up as a woman, but his beauty would be too much and would destroy empires, so... He's still watching!
しかも隠れながらって意味が。
He's like, oh god, what have I got myself into?
従者が主人より前に出るとはまだまだだな。ジンか。
申し訳ありません。
He's so used to
よろしい。
being in front that it's weird for him to. Me in the role reversed.
買い物ですか？その格好で。
She's so cute.
親父に食わせてやりたかったのに。医師としても薬師としても右に出る者はいないくらいすごい親父だが、何を間違ったのか損得感情というものが欠落している。
Maybe because her dad came from wealth, so doesn't quite understand how money works. Because I think her dad must have come from nobility at some point.
なんで黙っている？
別に話すことがないから。
Oh, his little face. He's like, I want to know what you're thinking about.
この匂いは焼き鳥。どうぞ。冷めないうちに食べましょう。
I wonder if this is the first time that Jinshi gets to be normal. Probably. Oh!
どうですか？
野営の時のよりうまいな。
At camp.
塩が効いてる。
Oh, okay.
よい？宦官は普通武官のような仕事はしないと思っていた。
So he's served in the military at some
それ
point
にして
then.
もうまそうに食べる。
Look at this little face. So happy.
坊ちゃんのおもちゃよ。懐かしいでしょう。
Oh.
え
一度気に入ったおもちゃがあれば坊ちゃんはそればかりで遊んでいたわね。こっそり隠すと手がつけられないくらい泣いてしまって。
Like he did when Mao Mao was taken away.
一つのものに執着する。人士様はそれが許される立場にありませんか？
宮廷の生活も悪くないだろう。花町の生活よりずっといい
Like
と思
my
う。
show's on, guys.
確かに悪くないですね。自分の意思で出資してますし、与えられた部屋も綺麗なものです。ただ、
She misses her
一人
dad.
残された養父がちゃんと生活できているか心配ですので。
いや、お前が薬や毒以外のことに気を使うとは。
養父は薬の死ですから、まだまだ長生きしてもらわねば困るんですよ。
It's also more than that.
お前の養父は。
漢方のみならず裁縫の医術まで心得がありますから。
Damn.
若い頃には裁縫に留学
So
していた
how
こと
did
もあ
he
ったそう
study
です
abroad in the West when he was young, if not
よ
from
ほど優秀だったんじゃないか。
a noble family that could
留
afford
学は
it?
国に選ばれなければいけないはずだぞ。
ええ、すごい人です。
そんな御人がなぜ花町で薬屋を？
運だけはない人だからでしょうね。いくら荷物を持っていても一物を取られてしまいましたから。
それはお前の養父が宦官だということか？
そうですけど、親父は裁縫への留学を理由に先帝の母、すなわち先の皇太后に宦官にされてしまったらしい。
Why though? Is that so he could serve in the imperial court, or maybe to secure his talents? I'm not sure. But I think to be noticed by the imperial family, his family must have been high up enough to be in their presence and for her dad to have been recognized.
六将官の馴染みには詳しいのか？
え、 まあ派手に立ち回る客であれば
He's gonna ask her about
秘
Laken.
密です。守秘義務があるので。
妓女の価値を下げるにはどうすればいい？
不愉快なことを聞きますね。いくらでもありますよ。特に上位の妓女ならば。六章館ではカムロ時代に一通りの教育を済ませます。その中で要望の良いものとそうでないものに分けられ、後者は顔見せが終わるとすぐ客を取り身を売ることになります。一方、見込みのあるものは茶飲みから始まり教養で客を取ります。
So they don't have to sell their bodies.
上がったところで露出を減らすと身請けまで客に一度も手をつけられないといったことに
Others
なり
aren't so fortunate.
手つかずの花だからこそ価値があるのです。倒ればそれだけで価値は半減します。さらに子をは
Pregnancy.
らませれば価値などないに等しくなります。
Having a baby with Laken's what devalued her currency. So that's how he devalued the high-ranking courtesan. Was by impregnating her, but I think it wasn't forced. I don't think it was coerced. I think it was a consensual relationship between two people that loved one another. And that maybe it would keep her safe from having to sell herself to others and to be a continued bargaining piece for the rich and elite. I'm not entirely sure until we learn a bit more information, but God, I love this show. The show is so good. I just love the dynamic between Jinshi and Mao Mao. I love that we're starting to see others like tuning in to that little show and enjoying their interaction and dynamic. I love that we're getting a bit more insight into Jinshi, that perhaps this is one of the rare times where he can actually be himself. He can let his guard down and be someone other than the Emperor's brother, someone other than the high-ranking eunuch, because that man is not a eunuch. I've been saying this for multiple episodes now, but he's not a eunuch. It's very evident he's not a eunuch. And I think just his mention of camp with him having done some military action would most likely have also been a time in his life where like he could have freely expressed himself, been more himself, and not be seen as superior, as noble. He would be treated as equal to everyone around him. He would be the same level as all the other soldiers. So he probably found some good memories there of like camaraderie and kinship and being able to do things that he probably never would have been able to do in the palace because the servants wouldn't let him. Would they be watching him? Or this whole idea of how he's not allowed attachment to one thing for long. He needs to know what it means to lose the things that he loves and cares about. It's a really harsh lesson, but it also shows what court life is like. You have to be prepared to lose what you love and admire most. I just, oh, this show is everything. But I had said, I think, not previous episode, but episode 15, that I felt that the devaluing was in relation to pregnancy, because obviously, if their value is linked to their purity, to being untouched, then the fact that they have been touched, and it's very evident because there is physical evidence of through like a pregnancy belly that they have been touched by a man. Of course, that is going to put people off and they're no longer going to be seen of value and they're going to plummet. But it's really interesting that Mao Mao's dad was selected by the court to go and study medicine in the West. And then when he came back, because of that, was then castrated. Did they say it was because he had trained that he was castrated? Yeah, because of his study abroad. He was made a eunuch by the previous Empress Stauja, the former emperor's mother. So it's like the current emperor's grandmother, not his mother. I mean, that's where I got confused. The previous Empress Dowager. So it would be the current emperor's grandmother that would have castrated Mao Mao's dad because of his study abroad that was essentially selected by the court. The court were the ones that recognized his talent and allowed him to go and study abroad. But again, he must have been close enough to the court to have been recognized for his skills. So it does sound as if it wasn't consensual. It wasn't something that he willingly entered into, that it was maybe something foisted upon him and he really had no say because it was commanded by the previous Empress Dowager. She enforced that and what she says goes. So he probably found that he really had no other option but to abide by it. And that's awful that he'd be forced into such a situation where he loses his manhood. And especially if he was an adult at the time, it doesn't make it any better that young boys go through this. But I mean, when he's grown up as an adult man, he would have had expectations of what his life would be, of maybe getting married and having children of his own. So to then have that ripped away from him, again, not that it's any better that it's ripped away from young boys who, again, have no understanding of what's going on. It is equally as bad. But I mean, the psychological shift that you would have to have as an adult man would be very intense. There would, of course, still be a psychological shift with young boys, but it's just this idea that you've grown up with your manhood intact. You've entered into adulthood. You've had an idea of how your life's going to be. And then that's kind of torn away from you and not by choice. But that would then explain how, if Mama's dad is Laken's brother, if that decision has been made by the previous Empress Dowager and foisted upon Mao Mao's dad, then that would give room for Laken to take his brother's place as sort of the heir to their family fortune, to their riches. So perhaps that's how he was able to get ahead, was because his brother was recognized for his talents, but as a consequence of those talents was then forcibly castrated and was then made to serve the royal family as a doctor. But I don't know. We'll see as it goes on, but there has to be a connection between Laken and Malma's dad somewhere. It's just too clear that Malma's dad must have come from like a prestigious background to have been recognized by the emperor and his family, to have been chosen to study abroad, to have had that luxury to do so. He had to have come from a well-to-do family. But as to his relationship with Laken, I don't know, because again, we haven't seen what that relationship could be. But I definitely think there has to be a connection between Mao Mao's dad and Laken, and that's how Mao Mao ends up being raised by Mao Mao's dad. But God, this is such a great show. I love it so much, and I can't wait to watch more next weekend. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch more now because I have to go watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so I'm really sad about that. But if you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. Until next episode, bye!